Welcome, everybody, to the Two Chicks with Hiking Sticks podcast. I'm Susan.
I'm Monica.
And it's a good week
It
here.
is a good week.
It is a good week.
It's cooler.
You know, it's funny how when just the temperature goes down just a few degrees, it's really nice when it's not 100.
Yeah, it's very nice. I mean, yesterday, my brother had texted me. He was like, is it hot or raining over there? I was like, it's actually nice. And it was 90 degrees.
But it's true that you feel that kind of a difference. And so when I was looking at our forecast going out, it's like we're in the low 90s like the rest of the week.
That's exciting for us because sometimes we're still in the hundreds at this point of the year.
So I was kind of happy. I wasn't bringing out my fall sweaters or anything.
No.
But I was like, oh, okay, I don't have to die when I go take out the trash.
Exactly.
So, well, today we have today's story I thought was really an interesting one because this is the Cibolo Nature Center, which I think is more a conservation place now. And the reason I really wanted to talk about this one is that I really wanted to engage you, our audience, about how you as individual citizens can unite with other citizens and make something happen.
Yeah.
And this is a prime, I think, example of that here in our Texas Hill Country. It's out like towards Boerne, Texas, and we'll show a map of where that is. And in fact, I think it's in Boerne, actually. That it is the product of a group of people coming together saying we need to conserve something and preserve something.
And it's such a beautiful little area and so close to San Antonio. Again, I've said it once and I'll say it again. To be able to live in a major city and drive like 30 minutes in pretty much any direction and get to these places, to be out in nature and to just have somewhere to enjoy and appreciate is wonderful.
Yeah, especially when you think about it takes a day to get out of Texas if you're trying to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
You learn to appreciate what is closer to your home.
Yes.
And this is where, again, talking about how citizens came together to make this place what it is. In your neck of the woods, wherever those neck of the woods are, and even if it's not actual woods, you can unite with people like yourselves and say, we really need to, make sure that this waterway stays pristine or protected in some way.
Right.
So anyhow, we're talking about the Cibolo Nature Center that's in Boerne, Texas, and it had been called the Cibolo Wilderness Center at one point, and then they purchased some more land, the Herff Farm, and then it became the Conservancy, right?
Yeah.
The Cibolo Nature Conservancy or something. So it's had a few different names, and essentially it started back in 1988. So 1988, there were these two people, husband and wife, Carolyn and Brent, I think, Evans, that got together with a group of their friends and said, we live in this area. We should maybe take care of this spot of land and where this water runs through. And it's amazing how it just grew after that. It grew after that. I mean, so it became, the city of Boerne helped to establish more of what this wilderness is. They've been able to purchase different lands and everything, protect water that comes from upstream and different watersheds and all. That this little oasis is really something to behold.
Yeah, and it really is such a gorgeous, gorgeous spot.
Yeah, because when you drive out there, I mean, it's, it's in our hill country. It's out in Boerne. So, like, if you're in San Antonio, it's just north.
Yeah.
But once you're there, it's almost like you're transported to a different area.
Yes, very much so because of the way the trees, aren't they cypress? No, they're not cypress.
Yes, they are cypress.
Are they cypress?
Yes, I'm pretty sure they are
okay,
cypress.
The
Cypress
root
and live
system,
oak.
and the oaks, the root system as it's running there by the water, just, you are completely in a different place when you get down there.
The first time that I went, I was like, I could not believe this was in Texas. I mean, it just was so pretty. It was just beautiful. But that's really what you get. You get kind of a mix of different things. You get kind of a little bit of a prairie land. You get the water that's there. You get the wonderful huge trees, and the combination of those really makes them for great hiking. Because they have some hiking trails that go around there and let you kind of explore all of that. And
before you get to the trees, when you're in the plains area, there's also almost like a swampy kind of area that has, what do they call the elevated trail that's over that? Did you go on that part of the hike?
I don't know.
Okay.
Elevated trail?
It's
like a boardwalk?
Kind of like a boardwalk, but it's not a full boardwalk. It's like an actual walkway.
And they say there is a peaceful boardwalk that's great for families and gentle explorations. And I'm like, maybe I should have taken the gentle exploration because mine wasn't a gentle exploration.
No,
But
once you get past that, though, and you go down towards the back and then towards the trees, it gets a little bit more uneven. But it's a good hike. They're good little hikes.
they are good little hikes. And the water features that they have there, I remember one time I went and there were like kids playing in the water because it's a river. So it's kind of nice that they have that. But I think the thing that makes this unique is not just how it looks, but it's the animals and things that are also in that area because they're able to preserve so much of that land and that space that they are, you've got trees, you've got cardinals, you've got birds, you've got, wonderful wildflowers and all too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's definitely worth the time out there, but I remember... This is me, like when I hike, and this is before I knew how to hike. So there's a part when you go on and they have these stepping stones that crosses over the water.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's a beautiful place to take pictures. I'm sure I will have some pictures included here. But I was scared because I didn't have my
hiking sticks.
Because at that time, I hadn't gotten into really doing hiking. I was just out there doing a gentle exploration, really.
Right.
And so when I got to that part, I don't know why, I just like freaked out. And I'm a big girl, and these are like little bitty squares that I'm sure that normal people would just walk over one by one. I was like, one.
You know what? Stuff like that makes me nervous anyway.
I don't know why.
It does me too. I mean, and it always has. I went hiking with a friend of mine. I'm trying to remember what trail we went on that had the stepping stones to the water. And mostly for me, I am a klutz by nature. I have no grace, and I just have poor balance overall. Yeah. I've had that since I was a kid because I had ear issues. So those things do make me nervous just because I can see myself immediately falling wherever it was that I went with my friend Rita. I had my dog Betty White with me, and she was in a little pouch, and I thought, oh, if I fall, Betty'd going too. So, I had to be like very
taking people down with me,
cognizant of where I was walking on this thing.
Doggy.
Oh, Betty loved that shit. But sorry. And plus she only had one eye, so she had no depth perception. She didn't care.
But it's funny how, because like, you think about like, Trail Ridge Road, or you think about going to the Sun Road up in Glacier National Park. There are parts of those roads that there's like nothing on the side. Like you're driving and it just falls off.
See, those don't
nothing,
bother me
right?
at all. Yeah.
Well, but I'm like, why do I get concerned about driving those when it's like never in my life have I just run off the road? Like, why do I think now I'm going to run off the road? So much in the same way when I was doing this little crossover in Cibolo Wilderness or Nature place, did I think I couldn't do this? And so I started freaking myself out. And then what happened? I stepped into the water because I was like, ah. I mean, now granted, it wasn't a horrible thing, but I was like, I don't know why I couldn't do it.
It's a mental game. It really is. I'm going to tell you a story. As a matter of fact, we talked a little bit about it when we did the Rocky Mountain episode on Rocky Mountain National Park. I had gone with, and this was an early trip that I went with a friend, and we had booked the KOA camping cabins, and that's when the cabins were they had just started doing those. So it was a cheap way to travel, like $25 a night for the cabin. Yeah. They had bunk beds and a double bed, and I took the bunk beds because I had always wanted to sleep on a top bunk. Now, mind you, by this time I am a grown-ass woman. So, but I still wanted to. I wasn't going to sleep on the top bunk, but I wanted to crawl up there. And so I did. I crawled up there and I was like, okay. I could not get down. I could not bring myself spatially, I guess, and I don't know what it was, but I was stuck there for the longest time trying to figure out how to turn my fat butt around to get down the ladder. I knew how to do it, but for some reason mentally, I could not do it. My friend was there, and because she was going to take the double bed, she was like, just turn around. I'm like, I know what to do. I know what to do. I just can't do it. I must have stayed sitting up there on that bunk for like 15 minutes. I know my friend Linda was like, oh my God. But, you know, I just could not make myself move. I could not do it.
But I don't know what it is. I remember when I was younger, we went to Enchanted
Rock?
State Park, Enchanted Rock.
Enchanted Rock, yeah.
And climbed up Enchanted Rock,
Sure.
you know. I was bold and brave and everything, but I couldn't come down. I couldn't come down. I had to scooch down on my butt. I did.
Down the whole dome?
Exactly.
Oh my God.
But because I was scared. I don't know why I was so scared.
That's worse than being stuck on a top bunk. I'm sorry, because there's like people going up and down. Oh my God. We need to do a whole episode on Enchanted Rock, because it is a great place to visit.
It was beautiful.
And it's in the same general area, sort of, that we're talking about. But that way we can talk more about Susan scooching down the dome on her butt.
I was scared. But again, I didn't have sticks. I was young. I was stupid. I was like, oh, but I could get up the hill. I could get up the rock. But
going up is always easier to me than going down.
Yeah,
We've talked about this before, too.
Because I was scared. Like, I don't know why. I thought it's never happened before that I would just tumble head first all down. But anyhow,
we digressed. All the trauma we've been harboring for years.
That's exactly what it is. Oh my gosh. Anyhow, so this wonderful place in Cibolo, you have a place you can walk across these things, which it's not scary unless you're, you know, however old I was at the time, 50 something, I don't know what. And didn't have sticks. Heck, I don't even know if I had waterproof shoes at the time, but I stepped in the water because I was like, oh.
It's being forced to balance for me. That's what it is. You're forcing me to balance my fat butt that has never balanced before in its life. So, yeah, I understand.
Yeah. Anyhow, I made it across, but it was a really nice hike. And so, you know, back to when we were talking about the trees and the roots and stuff, it's one of those trails, though, that you have to be careful.
You have to be very careful.
Because there are a lot of roots and stuff on the trail.
Yeah.
But I just have to say that the wildflowers were just beautiful on that trail.
It's a nice trail. Again, it would count to me as very uneven terrain, even though you're not doing any. I don't think there's any elevation at all in this park, and if there is, so. It's minimal.
Yeah, it's pretty slight.
But you do have to be cognizant all the time, because the root system of all these trees that are in and out of the water are everywhere. So you've got to pay very close attention to where you're stepping.
You really do, but it is like, to me, I thought that the hiking there was just perfect because it was just easy and you could just explore, right? You could just stand there and take pictures of so many beautiful spots with the water and all of that and everything.
Shady.
So, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what made
Very
it really
shady.
good. Because I think I went in like the month of May, and it was perfect. It was nice and cool in the morning, and then because of the shade in the afternoon, and then the wind was blowing in the breeze, or the wind was blowing, the trees were blowing in the breeze. Something was blowing.
Something was blowing in the breeze. We don't know what,
it was
but
really
it was
nice.
blowing.
It was blowing. But I just think it's marvelous how they did this conservation of this section of the Cibolo Creek, River, Cibolo, whatever that is, that they took the time to do that, because now that has expanded. And when they purchased the Herff Farm, which was next door, they now have made that. It's actually called the Cibolo, let's get the name right. So it's Cibolo Center for Conservation. That's what it's actually called.
Okay, then it has changed since the last time I was there.
And the wonderful thing about it is that they do a lot of educational things there. So this is something that you would definitely want to check out. And they have on their website a lot of things that are listed, calendar events that you can partake in. But they also have, during school year, kids come out to do field trips.
Nice.
And they learn more about conservation and, water things and sustaining things and that kind of thing, which I think is kind of cool when it's an educational type of center. So that's why the name has kind of evolved over the years since 1988, when they first started this process of trying to make this stuff protected, that they've evolved it to be more about what they are. And they also have, what I think is cool, they do a farmer's market on Saturdays. At this place as well, because perfect little farms everywhere. It's a perfect place to come out and enjoy. One, it's beautiful out there, and two, you can partake in the farmer's market.
I got to say that that's an ideal place for a day trip if you're in and around, traveling down here around San Antonio, and looking for something different to get out of the city and do for a day. just the fact that it's in Boerne. We spoke recently, we had a podcast about Pedernales State Park. Pedernales State Park, which is not horribly far from this little general area that was Germanic. When this part of Texas was being settled, all the heavy German influence with Boerne, with Fredericksburg, Comfort, Texas. Like I said, Pedernales is up in Boerne. It's a little further up, but it's not horribly far. But Boerne by itself, if you wanted to just do a day trip, this is a great place to go do a hike in the morning. And there's picnic tables along the river. I was just going to
say, it's perfect for that.
Yes.
You can grab a burger at the, what's the name of that burger place? Anyhow.
The one on the corner?
Yeah, you can grab a burger or they have some nice place that serves
sandwich.
Cake.
There's some good bakeries there.
And then just head out to a picnic table that's right on the water.
Yeah. Ooh, and Fickle Pickles.
And there you go. Life is complete.
The pickle place. This again, a weird little place. If you've never been to Boerne, there's a place that it's an antique store, but she makes pickles.
Because why not?
Because why not? So when you go in, immediately the smell of the pickles hits you, and you can sample them. But I will drive all the way to Boerne to get my case of pickles to last me for the year. What a great way to spend pickles, picnic, and parks. There you go. All of it. You can do all of it on a Saturday.
The triple P.
The triple P.
Who knew we needed that in our lives?
Gosh, I got to do that soon. Yeah,
because it'd probably be worth it to go out there again, just because it is just that beautiful.
It's a great hike,
and I guess one of the things that when the group of friends and everybody were getting around trying to do this conservation, it's like they wanted to do it for the locals, right? And now we all get to take advantage of it, even though we don't live in that particular area. But it's accessible to us, and so we take advantage of it. I'm assuming, but I did not check, and that's bad for me, that there's a way to join or pay something to support the... I would assume so, but it's interesting because if you go and visit, there isn't an entry fee.
Right.
It's free.
It's free for you to hike there.
Sunset, 7 days a week.
But I'll do a check, and if there is a way to support them, I'll put a link on the blog. Just because they really do some worthy stuff. Yeah. And again, they involve kids and just educational stuff and opportunities. And one of the cool things, which I just think is so fascinating when you think about dinosaurs, because they were talking about there was a flood way back when that uncovered some tracks of dinosaurs. I didn't know that. Yeah. I'm trying to remember when that was. But yeah, so they uncovered tracks of dinosaurs that they then plastered, so that way they can have that for people to look at. But you think about dinosaurs in this area, so Waco mammoth, which is up near Waco. What? No, really. That had to do with mammoths, right, in this area from way back when, right? But the way that these things get uncovered, it's like, I don't know, there were some archaeological students that were just wandering around in some little area, whatever, and they're like, hey, what is that? And then they uncover a woolly mammoth. Well, here you have the kind of the same thing. A flood happens, uncovers these dinosaur tracks, and it's like it just is a nice little reminder of how so many things have existed long before we ever were considered. Right. Well, and when I was doing some research for Pedernales for the blog, Pedernales, because I found out the reason that the river was named what it was for the word flint. Yeah. Which Pedernal, I think, is the Spanish word for flint. And the flint was used by the Paleo Indians to hunt woolly mammoth and bison. Because they made arrows out of them. Right. Mm-hmm. And so bison and woolly mammoth were roaming all over this area. Who would have guessed? Well, and unless you secure the property, preserve the property, right, once you start finding these things, it's like that history would be lost. Yes. We'll have episodes that we'll do on some of the mounds that have been found and stuff across the United States where ancient indigenous folks were living here long before us and left these behind, and they're just on somebody's ranch or farm. They didn't know. It's like, it just boggles my mind. But anyhow, so the dinosaur tracks, there are many places in Texas you can find dinosaur tracks. Because even closer by me, which is Government Canyon State Park, has dinosaur tracks. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's all cool. It's
Yeah.
all cool. So, but that going there to Boerne, making a day of it, it's just it would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it really would be.
And it's not a long hike. You know, I mean, you could if you took your time, you could stretch it out to an hour.
Yeah, because I think
if you wanted to.
in total, I think all the hiking there is like maybe 10 miles of hiking. It's not huge.
Yeah, but if you just wanted to stick to the tree area and go slow.
Yeah, it's a perfect moderate type of hike.
Yeah, very much so.
So definitely recommend it, and I would suggest you take hiking sticks if you go, even if it's flat, because you may be scared when you get to those points that you have to cross the water.
It helps you with your balance if you're stepping on or over a lot of the roots too.
Yeah,
it really does.
Yeah. So anyhow, so that's pretty much the Cibolo Cibolo. We got to get this right. Cibolo.
I'm letting you do the talking.
Cibolo Center for Conservation, because I want to say the Cibolo Conservancy, but
See, I used to call. I thought it was back in the day. It was Cibolo Wilderness. Center or something.
Yeah.
And that's where I still think of it. So I wasn't going to say anything because I know I'd be wrong.
Well, but anyhow, the Cibolo Center for Conservation, because they really have broadened what it is that they're there for. So, again, the restoration projects and the expansions that they've done to offer these educational programs for all of us to be able to partake in. And then, of course, as I said, the farmers market that's on Saturdays.
And don't forget, this is free. So I always think if you go to any one of these places, not just this one, but any place that you go where they're doing a job of conserving and preserving, anywhere in your state, wherever you live, if you can shove a few bucks towards them, towards that cause, that's great. It helps a lot because most of these places operate on such a tight budget.
Oh, yeah.
And they're not only paying staff to run whatever it is they're doing, their stores, their classes and stuff, they're also maintaining all those trails and all that open area nature out there. So, anytime that you run into those places, if you can donate a little bit, I bet that they appreciate it a lot.
I'm sure they would. Yeah, absolutely. So, again, if you like our content, you want to make sure you're subscribed to us because we want to share this with you. So you have places that you can go to if you come to visit in Texas or if you live here in Texas, places for you to go visit and show them some love because they only get about 100,000 visitors a year.
Yeah.
So we really want to make sure that they get some love.
Yeah.
So
if you like our content, you like what we're doing, give us a shout out.
Like us, subscribe
to us.
Drop
a comment.
Get a notification.
Share. Buy some merch.
Yeah, we've got links for our merch in our description on our YouTube.
And we've got a link down in the description also for Buy Me a Coffee.
Yeah, do you want to support us monetarily? That's
buy us a coffee.
Too. Yeah, buy us a coffee. Or maybe a water, whichever you prefer.
Or she likes tea.
There you go.
I'll take the coffee.
But yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed this and we're here every Thursday, 10 o'clock Central Time.
Yep.
All right, that's all we have for today. So remember to
hike your own hike.
And we'll check y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.